Stays on.
Good evening. It's Thursday, May 16, 2024, and this is the Council Rock School Board meeting.
At this time, I would like to ask Katrina Terminiti from Goodnote to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for our national anthem.
Thank you to our students from Goodnoe Elementary, Holland Elementary, and of course, thank you, Mr. Keller. Nicely done.
Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Sure. Edward Tate,
Present.
Joseph Hidalgo,
Present.
Mike Roosevelt,
Here.
Bob Hickey,
Here.
Yoda Pally,
Present.
Tracy Osecki,
Here.
Nicole Kahn,
Here.
Linda Stone,
Here.
and Ann Horner.
Here.
Dr. Sango?
Thank you, Mrs. Polly. Tonight, we want to take a moment to celebrate and recognize some very important people and some very important accomplishments. Good evening, Council Rock, and welcome to tonight's regular board meeting. We begin this evening with recognition and honor for a special group of individuals from the Council Rock family, our retirees who are about to begin the next chapter of their lives. This year, we have 32 members of the Council Rock family who are retiring, 9 of whom who've been with the district 30 years or more. Combined, these retirees have dedicated over 780 years of service to our schools and our children. That's over 140,000 school days collectively spent teaching, supporting, and caring for our students. Simply a remarkable achievement. Would our retirees present in the audience please stand to be recognized? To each of you, on behalf of the Council Rock School Board, the administration, staff, community, and most importantly, our students, thank you for your years of service. Your departure will be felt deeply among the colleagues that you leave behind, but your mark on the district and our students is everlasting. Take with you the knowledge that you helped build the future through each child that you encountered, and that your time in Council Rock has made a difference in the lives of children. Moments such as these are bittersweet, and while you're moving on from your work in the district, one thing is certain. You will never leave the Council Rock family. May the years that lie ahead be filled with laughter, happiness, and more dreams achieved. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you for your many years of dedicated service to Council Rock and our children. Tonight, we also want to recognize our CREF Grant Award winners. Now, we're talking about moving on to celebrating the future. As you likely know, the Council Rock Education Foundation is dedicated to providing innovative educational experiences for students through their annual Grant Awards program. Each year, CREF, Council Rock Education Foundation, Grant Awards help bring visionary programs and materials to our classrooms, always with the focus on finding new and engaging learning opportunity for our students. Tonight, you will hear about the initiatives CREF has selected for funding in the 2024-2025 school year from CREF Executive Director, Mrs. Beth Ann Dobush. Beth Ann?
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am thrilled and deeply grateful to be here tonight to share some exciting news from CREF. On behalf of the CREF Board of Directors, some of whom are here with us this evening, I am overjoyed to announce that we will be supporting several innovative learning grants totaling an impressive $47,000 for the 24-25 academic year. Innovative learning grants are just one way CREF supports our students. This incredible achievement would not have been possible without the unwavering generosity of our donors. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I also want to extend a special thanks to the Council Rock School District administration and staff who work tirelessly to put students first and drive innovation year after year. We are truly honored to help bring your brilliant ideas to life. Additionally, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Council Rock School District and CREF board members who joined us for Prize Patrol. We surprised the grant winners at their schools, and your enthusiasm and support made these moments unforgettable. So thank you for coming along with us. I know we have a packed agenda, so I'm going to get moving. I did want to take a moment to thank Jennifer Fansteel. She's CREF's Grants Committee Chair. She's done a lot of work behind the scenes working with the educators and administration. Unfortunately, Jen couldn't be here tonight, but I wanted to take a minute to say thank you, Jen, for your hard work and dedication to this role and process, and it's deeply appreciated. So thank you all. Okay, first up, children's government books, Jim McNeil and Colleen Senth from Council Rock North. Students will author and publish a children's book about the U.S. government and the Constitution. The project enhances their understanding of government, boosts literacy and writing skills, and builds confidence through presentations and book sharing with younger students. So Jim and Colleen, please come up to accept your certificate. So Jim's not here, so I'm doing Jen's not here, so I'm doing double duty real quick. Next up, Fabricating the Future of STEAM, Nikki Birkbeck and Nick Schmoyer. This will be at Newtown Elementary and Rolling Hills Elementary for grade level 6, curricular area STEAM. Introducing the Tormax CNC routing machine to 6th grade students will not only elevate their fabrication skills, but also enhance their CAD experience. Moreover, it will present innovative challenges in structural design and problem solving, thereby strengthening the STEAM education curriculum in elementary schools. Nick couldn't make it tonight, but Nikki is here to accept. What's Upcycling by Danielle Puglisi and Tracy Geller. This will be at Maureen M. Welsh Elementary and Hillcrest Elementary, grade levels 1 through 6, curricular area STEAM. Sustainability stations will allow students to upcycle single-use plastics into engineering tools, enriching the existing straw bees and robotics kits program. This hands-on approach teaches sustainability and advanced engineering concepts across all elementary grades. Oh, good. Thank you. Here we go. Next up is Stop the Bleed, Tom Cunningham and Chris Horger. Location is Holland Middle School and Newtown Middle School, grade levels 8, curricular area physical education. The Stop the Bleed program will equip 8th graders with life-saving first aid skills, training them as immediate responders. This initiative enhances the first aid CPR curriculum and aims to create a safer school and community environment. Tom? And Chris. Thank you. Next up is a partnership with one of our community members, and we're excited for this as well. The Side-by-Side Music Mentorship Program between the Delaware Valley Wind Symphony and Council Rock North. Accepting on behalf of the Delaware Valley Wind Symphony is Angel Hassinger and Bob Clark, as well as Keith Rudat. This is in arts and humanities. The mentorship program pairs high school concert band students with professional musician coaches. It fosters an intergenerational learning environment, enhances musical skills, and culminates in a collaborative performance, enriching the student's musical journey. Yeah. Council Rock Seal by Literacy, Lynn Young and Shannon Hubeck. This will be at both Council Rock North and South, grade levels 10 through 12 in language arts. The Seal by Literacy program recognizes students proficient in 2 or more languages, promoting civic and global engagement. It celebrates linguistic diversity and involves family and community in assessing student proficiency, fostering inclusive educational growth. Next up is One Book, One 7th Grade, Don Donmeyer and Kristen Park. This will be at both Holland Middle School and Newtown Middle School, grade 7, curricular area, language arts. The district-wide initiative encourages all 7th graders and their families to read Fish in a Tree. The program includes book club meetings, competitions, and workshops on dyslexia, fostering a unified love for reading and community engagement. Next is the Council Rock Susan M. Gormley Leadership Summit, Christine Marsden. This will be at Council Rock High School South and North for 9th through 12th and Achieve students. This is in leadership development. The Susan M. Gormley Leadership Summit, led by Council Rock High School South National Honor Society, provides workshops and activities to develop essential leadership skills. Named in honor of Susan M. Gormley, this biannual event aims to cultivate future leaders through inclusive and engaging experiences. And last but certainly not least, building in, oh yeah, I was on a roll. Last but not least, building independence through work experiences. Wendy Locke. This is at the Star Center for the Achieve students' career vocational education. Expanding the Starborough Cafe and garden market equipment, this project offers Achieve students hands-on experience and pre-vocational skills through designing and producing items like t-shirts and mugs. Students gain valuable workplace skills, fostering greater independence for their future careers. Before we take our big group picture with our check, I invite any CREF board members in the room and the Council Rock School District Board to join us in a photo. I want to thank you all, and thank you to tonight's winners. Thank you for all that you do to enhance and elevate education for our students. We look forward to seeing your grants in action in the next school year. Congrats.
Mrs. Dobosh, thank you very much. On behalf of the administration, the teachers, the staff, and most importantly, our children, we want to thank CREF and our generous donors, as you've indicated. Thank you for putting all of that energy and effort into our students in Council Rock. Nicely done. And as Ms. Dobosh said, if we could get certainly Mr. Tate as the CREF liaison and Mrs. Polly and any other board member to take a picture, we would appreciate it.
What's that? We could pretend we're standing there, not gonna get us anything.
Welcome to the Council Rock South Student Advisory Board, Mr. Raddick.
Good evening. At this time, I would like to introduce Council Rock South High School Student Advisory Board Liaison, 11th grader, Jamie Gockman.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting us to join you tonight. As we approach the end of another school year, we want to thank you for your attention and consideration during our presentations. So, for one final time, members of the Council Rock South Student Advisory Board are here to update you and the community on various events and happenings at Council Rock South High School. Presenting tonight are MBIT Representative Ava Warziniak, 9th grade Representative Daniel Thomas, 10th grade Representative Artur Kiss, 11th grade Representative Stephen Belder, and 12th grade Representative Isabella Thomas. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ava Warziniak. I'm a senior at Council Rock High School South. I'm also level 200 student in the cosmetology program at Middlebucks Institute of Technology. Middlebucks celebrated the success of their multimedia technology students at the Greenville Youth Festival, an event recognizing young filmmakers. The students are mentored by Mr. James Davey, an Emmy Awards-winning teacher who has been with Middlebucks since January 2015. Doylestown Township teamed up with our welding and collision repair program for a unique and impactful project that combined their skills and creativity. Together, they crafted stunning silhouettes that are now enhancing the Doylestown Township bike hike trails and overpasses. Middlebucks chapter of the National Technical Honor Society recently celebrated a significant milestone by including 40 new student members, marking a record-setting class. The National Technical Honor Society students' achievements and leadership in career and technical education, promoting educational excellence and offering scholarships and enhanced career opportunities to its members. Big congratulations to the medical and health profession level 100 class. This year, each and every student has achieved 100% completion on both their OSHA and CPR certifications. By mastering these critical skills, you are setting a foundation for safe practices and readiness to save lives. This accomplishment speaks volumes about your commitment and professionalism as future healthcare professionals. Thank you for your time and opportunity to keep you informed about what is happening at Middlebucks Institute of Technology.
Good evening, everyone. I am Daniel Thomas, the 9th grade representative, and I'll inform you about this 2024 school year. To start off, I'll be talking about our clothing drive we held this April. Us ninth graders raised a total of $672 and had over 1,000 pounds of clothing in total. Last Saturday, on May 11th, we also had an Oh Wow Cow fundraiser with the signature Sunday, and our guest scooper was Miss McGeckern, the 9th grade principal. Here, 20% of the profits made will go to the class of 2027. Another huge event for the underclassmen are the Keystones. This started earlier this week on Monday and ended today. They were taken from 7:38 to 10 o'clock in the morning. So students who didn't take it could sleep in for an extra 3 hours. Lastly, our school is holding Blue, White, and Gold. This was an event where there would be activities held after school, such as volleyball or tug of war. This occasion will start next Wednesday on May 22nd. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Good evening, school board members. I'm Artur Kiss, and I'm the 10th grade representative for the Student Advisory Board. Starting off, we have recently concluded our Penny Wars fundraiser, where grade levels tried to outmaneuver each other to see who can raise the most money for charity. In total, the school raised over $500 for charity, and all the classes had a blast participating in this event for a good cause. In addition, Golden Wings Theater Company last week ran their edition of the Canterville Ghosts. The show ran on May 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th at 7 p.m. in our brand new renovated auditorium. The show generated huge amounts of positive feedback from both the cast and crew to the audience. It was both a combination of spooky and hilarious, and Golden Wings is proud to finish off the year with a blast. Our brand new lights and sound system made a huge difference in how this play was delivered, and we can't wait to be back next school year with a whole new list of plays. I would like to name everyone, but that'll take over 10 minutes, so instead, huge shout out to the actors, directors, stage crew, and student leaders for helping bring this show to light. We cannot thank you enough for continuing to support Golden Wings despite all the setbacks we've had this year. That is it from me for today. We appreciate everyone here for taking their time to listen to our reports, as we will not be here without your support. We look forward to be back next school year for another cycle of updates and events. May you all have a wonderful night.
Good evening, Dr. Sanko, the school board of directors, administrators, and all those listening at home. My name is Stephen Belder, and I am the Student Advisory Board's representative for the junior class. To start us off tonight with athletics, Council Rock South had a spring sports season filled with notable achievements across various disciplines. The men's volleyball team concluded their season on a high note, securing an impressive victory against Cheltenham High School. This win was a fitting send-off for the 7 graduating seniors who have undoubtedly left their mark on the program. In men's tennis, our players demonstrated their prowess by clinching 3rd place in the SOL Singles Patriot Tournament and 2nd place overall in the SOL Doubles Tournament. With their sights set on SOL districts, they are poised to continue their success. Men's and women's outdoor track teams had a stellar regular season, consistently achieving top finishes in events such as the 300-meter hurdles, high jump, and discus throws. Their hard work has earned them spots in the upcoming PIAA District 1 Championship, where they aim to further showcase their skills and represent CR South with pride. The co-ed unified track and field team brought joy and inspiration throughout their season, securing multiple place finishes and showcasing the spirit of unity and sportsmanship. Both boys and girls lacrosse teams concluded their regular seasons with impressive records, setting the stage for promising postseason runs with records of 11-6 and 11-7, respectively. Baseball finished the regular season with a solid 8-8 overall league record and is gearing up for an exciting playoff journey starting next Monday. Softball had a standout season, dominating with a remarkable 17-1 record and claiming the SOL Patriot Division title. As the #1 seed in the district playoffs, they are set to continue their winning streak and make a strong push for the championship. Their game is actually happening today, and we are optimistic to see the results. Despite facing adverse weather conditions and other unexpected events, our athletes remained resilient and focused, demonstrating the true spirit of Council Rock South athletics. Their dedication and determination have propelled them to the top of the competition, and we couldn't be prouder of their accomplishments this spring season. We are so eager to see what next year will bring us. Now, regarding the class of 2025, we had our very own junior prom on April 26th, and it was an incredible evening for the whole grade. In addition, our student council is working with the other grade levels to prepare for our blue, white, and gold event and even next year's homecoming. With an exciting announcement for the whole district, the Travis Mannion Foundation clubs, both at Council Rock South and Council Rock North, are working together in hosting a charity 5K race and 1-mile fun run to raise money and awareness for veterans and families of fallen service members. If anyone is looking for a fantastic way to start their Sunday on June 2nd, please join us at 8 a.m. on the South Athletic Pavilion near the track for a great event. Young and old, athletic and amateur, all are welcome to participate in this great run for an even better cause. For more information about the run, please find the TMF Club webpage on the South website or scan this QR code that will be available for anyone present here tonight. We hope to see many families and members of the CR community in attendance. That is all for tonight. Thank you for a great year, and we'll see you in the fall.
Good evening, everyone. And for the last time, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Isabel Thomas, the 12th grade SAB representative. Firstly, I wanted to recap about our senior trip that the class of 2024 took to the enchanting Orlando, Florida from April 9th to the 13th. During our time there, I can say that on behalf of all the seniors that we made unforgettable memories. Our next very important senior day is the prom, which will be held tomorrow, May 17th, at the National Constitution Center from 6:30 to 11:30 p.m. Other upcoming senior dates are our senior car parade, which will be held on June 7th at 9 a.m., and our senior luncheon, which will be held on June 10th in the cafeteria at 1:30 p.m. Our senior recognition night will be held later that day at 6 p.m., where seniors who were previously invited will receive rewards for their special talents. Finally, our long-awaited graduation will be taking place on June 11th at 6 p.m. in South Gymnasium. I'm looking forward to celebrating this achievement with my friends, family, and classmates. It has been a journey filled with hard work, growth, and memories that I'll cherish forever. I know that there's been a tradition of the senior SAB representatives singing at the very last meeting, but I would like to spare all of you from that and instead speak a little bit about my experiences here. As we approach graduation, I want to reminisce about my memories in the Council Rock School District. This district has provided me and my peers with a holistic approach of education, emphasizing the importance of academics while helping us become young men and women. In elementary school, we learned while simultaneously enjoying yearly field days with various activities. In middle school, the academic rigor increased, but we were still guided by staff to prepare us for the next level. Finally, in high school, academic stress increased even more, but it was balanced with numerous activities, clubs, and other interests that helped us grow. So I want to say thank you to Council Rock for shaping me into the person I am today and giving me the foundation to continue my career as a journey through the rigor of chemical engineering at Penn State University. Thank you for listening, and I'm signing off as a class of 2024 representative. Have a great night.
Mr. Raddick, before you close, I just want to thank all of you for every other month giving us these outstanding and detailed reports. And as I look out at you, Isabel, I'm thinking chemical engineering, I remember you in a stroller. And where is the time gone? We wish all of you the very best of luck and a wonderful summer. I know we won't see you here in this format for the remainder of this year, but thank you for your continued service to your fellow students and to our district. Good luck.
Proof that you and I do not speak prior to the meeting, you just said what I was going to say. However, I did have a second point. I would like to ask Ava and Isabella to please stand. We are so proud of you. Congratulations on your impending graduation, and we're excited to see what the future holds for you. Thank you.
Next, we have the superintendent report. Dr. Sanko.
Thank you, Mrs. Polly, and welcome to the board members, students, staff, and community members here with us tonight, and those tuning in on the Council Rock YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome to the dais Mrs. Maggie Lyons, who is joining us tonight to begin learning the role of board secretary. Thank you to the Goodnoe and Holland Elementary School String Ensemble led by Mr. Ben Keller for their musical contribution to open this evening's meeting. And thank you to the Council Rock High School South Student Advisory Board and their principal, Mr. Raddick, for providing the report tonight. I'd like to acknowledge the student leaders who report at the monthly board meetings. You bring a student-level view and a fresh perspective on events and activities taking place at our high schools. We look forward to the fall when your reports return, but in the meantime, congratulations to the graduating seniors on the Council Rock High School North and South Student Executive Boards, and thank you again for all of your contributions. As of tonight, there are only 16 days remaining until graduation for our seniors. And there are only 18 days left in the school year for our students in grades K through 11. This is the final stretch of the year, and it's filled with many reasons to celebrate and come together as one Council Rock community. To our graduating seniors, I offer this advice: savor these days. Enjoy your time at the peak of this mountain. You've worked hard to climb this far, and the next mountain awaits. To our rising students in grades 1 through 11, you have worked hard to move up. Be proud of what you've accomplished, enjoy where you are right now, and finish the school year with as much enthusiasm as you've started. We have several May Appreciation Weeks to recognize, to thank and honor the people who contribute to the success of our students every day. Last week, May 6 through 10, was National Teacher Appreciation Week, and it goes without saying that our entire administrative team is grateful to each and every educator for their work with students every day. No matter the role, our teachers are direct providers of teaching and learning and the visible embodiment of students first always. Their daily interaction with students throughout the year are the engine that powers the Council Rock legacy, and we are deeply appreciative of their talents, hard work, and dedication. Thank you to all Council Rock teachers. Last week was also National School Nurses Week, and we would like to acknowledge the nurses who provide the little extra TLC and health resources our students need. To our school nurses, thank you for working on behalf of our students and for your vigilance and attentiveness in ensuring their well-being. This week, May 12th through 18th, is National Law Enforcement Week. Council Rock is fortunate to be supported by some of the bravest and most supportive police and law enforcement officers you will ever meet. These men and women not only work to safeguard our communities, but they are particularly protective of our students. Council Rock's partnership with local law enforcement agencies has proven to be beneficial to students and the Council Rock community. The Northampton Township, Newtown Township, Newtown Borough, and Upper Makefield Police Departments, thank you for your service and being at the ready whenever a need arises. In March, in Miss Erin Demskis's English class at Newtown Middle School, a Holocaust Museum of Reflection was created. Part of their learning included reading works by Elie Wiesel and Anne Frank, and was followed by students creating unique and meaningful Holocaust memorial projects. The displays were curated by 3 very talented students, Adele Barber, Rachel Hoffman, and Sophie L. Sullivan, who were invited to share their experience tonight, but unable to attend because of the 8th grade farewell dance. In their place, we asked the teacher, Miss Demskis, to join us tonight, and Miss Demskis is here to give us an overview and share a video that was created for the Holocaust Museum. And if I may, Mrs. Demskis.
Thank you so much, Dr. Senko. Thank you, school board and cabinet. Again, I'm sorry that the girls couldn't be here. They feel badly, but I told them that they should go to their 8th grade dance, enjoy it, be able to celebrate, and that we'd hold down the fort for them. They created a lovely video for you that they wrote entirely themselves, recorded entirely themselves. They're go-getters, all 3 of these young ladies. So the only thing I would maybe add is just my gratitude to everyone, including the community, for their support, because over the course of approximately 3 school weeks, we had 34 classes visit our museum and 180 members of the public, including many of you. So thank you so much for your support, and I will let their video speak for them.
Hi, we're the NMS Holocaust Museum curators for the 2023-2024 school year. I'm Sophie O'Sullivan.
I'm Rachel Hoffman.
And I'm Adele Barber. Here are some of the things that we did for the Holocaust Museum. First, we organized and created the museum, which included all the decorations, setting up all the projects, and determining the mood and atmosphere of the room.
We also gave guided tours to community members and classmates throughout multiple weeks while this museum was open.
Once the museum was over, we disassembled the museum and we redistributed the projects to their original creators.
Lastly, the Holocaust Museum helped spread awareness about the Holocaust.
And after viewing some pictures of the projects in the museum, Rachel will elaborate more on why Holocaust education is important.
Why is Holocaust education important? Number 1, decreasing anti-Semitism. In our world today, anti-Semitism is on the rise, and we need to fight it. Number 2, preventing denial and distortion. Holocaust denial is actually a form of anti-Semitism, and Holocaust distortion is ever present with online sources and social media today spreading misinformation. And did you know that misinformation spreads much quicker than true information online? So this is a threatening problem to the younger generation that we need to address by teaching it in schools so they get the correct information from a great source. Number 3, never forget. Never forget is a powerful phrase that was developed after the Holocaust. And we shall never forget the actions that occurred during the Holocaust. To never forget, we have to teach it in schools. Number 4, critical lessons of hate and cruelty. The Holocaust taught us many lessons about animosity and hate that we need to keep giving to the younger generations to make a better world. Thank you for watching. We hope that this presentation brought light to the need and importance of Holocaust education.
Mrs. Demskis, I have to say that every year I'm more and more surprised at how creative your students are. And this year, the 3 curators, they did an outstanding job. It'll be a very difficult job to follow for the class next year, I'm sure.
Yes.
But just watching this video, I realized the lessons that they try to send out to the community, how important they are about cruelty and hate and anti-Semitism. So thank you for everything that you do, and you offer that to our community every year.
Thank you so much.
Aaron, if I might just add, how many years is this now? 6?
6 in the current building with that museum space, yes.
I've had the privilege of being to the museum each year, most years multiple times. Each year it's moving. It always leaves an indelible mark. And I agree with Mrs. Polly, the incoming class will have a lot to compete with. But I want to thank you for this idea that was born 6 years ago or so by you, and expanding this not just to the students in the building, but the community. So on behalf of the administration and the board, please, as we have, but do it again if you would, give a sincere thank you to our students for their efforts on this good work.
Gladly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So each year, Council Rock selects a local charity to support with fundraisers throughout the year. This year, our charitable recipient was the Autism Cares Foundation. Council Rock students, teachers, staff, and families gave generously in various fundraisers across the district, and I can proudly say that as of today, the total amount donated to the Autism Cares Foundation through Council Rock is $20,902.53. Thank you to all who contributed to this donation and for remembering that community partners like the Autism Cares Foundation helps us keep students first always. In districts across the Commonwealth, it is budget season. To keep the community updated and informed on Council Rock's 24-25 proposed general fund budget, a public budget meeting is planned for Thursday, May 29th, 7 p.m. at Newtown Middle School. It is anticipated that the final general fund budget will be approved at the June 20th board meeting. So this event gives residents an opportunity to have the preliminary budget explained in detail before then. You can find more information on the business department page on our website at www.crsd.org. If you've been following along with our committee meetings, you know that Council Rock is exploring its options with adding full-day kindergarten in the 2025-2026 school year. There are 2 upcoming opportunities for the entire Council Rock community to participate in the kindergarten discussion. First, a kindergarten interest survey designed by Hanover Research will be made available to the public on Monday, May 20th. Links to the survey will be sent out via website post, email, social media, and in our school and district newsletters. The survey will remain open from Monday, May 20th until midnight on Sunday, June 2nd. Second, on Tuesday, June 4th, there will be a kindergarten information session for the community. This event is to share with the community much of the exploratory work that we have done in understanding the merits of a change to our kindergarten program. This event is scheduled for Tuesday, June 4th at 7 p.m., and it will be held at Holland Middle School. A reminder to the community that the final school days of the year are quickly approaching and include the following important dates. As I mentioned earlier, graduation day for both Council Rock High School North and Council Rock High School South is Tuesday, June 11th. Parents of graduating seniors should check with their respective high schools for details on graduation times and locations if they have any questions. These events are well attended, and we recommend that you arrive early. The final day for students in grades K through 11 will be Thursday, June 13th. Thursday, June 13th will be a half day for students, and very important to our kindergarten families, Thursday, June 13th, PM kindergarten students will attend. Parents of students in grades K through 11 should check with their individual schools for end-of-the-year events and activities. Again, important dates on Monday, May 20th. That will be the opening of the kindergarten interest survey. On Wednesday, May 22nd, there will be an ELD registration event at the Chancellor Center 2 times during that day from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. The registration event is open to families who need assistance with registration. Thursday, May 23rd, there is an Education Committee meeting, 7 p.m. here at the Chancellor Center. On Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day will be recognized and all schools and offices will be closed. On Wednesday, May 29th, there is a public budget meeting at 7 p.m. going to be held at Newtown Middle School. Sunday, June 2nd, the kindergarten interest survey closes at midnight. Monday, June 3rd, there is a policy committee meeting scheduled for 7 p.m. here at Chancellor. On Tuesday, June 4th, is the kindergarten information session going to be held 7 p.m. at Holland Middle School. On Thursday, June 6th, facilities committee meeting here at Chancellor, 7 p.m. As I mentioned, graduations for both Council Rock High School North and South will take place on Tuesday, June 11th, and June 13th is the last day of school for students grades K through 11. PM kindergarten attends, and there is a finance committee meeting scheduled for that evening at 7 p.m. Thursday, June 20th, in this Chancellor Center is the June Board of School Directors meeting at 7 p.m. Finally, a reminder that for the most accurate and reliable information concerning our district, please refer to resources, websites, and social media platforms managed by the Council Rock School District. We advise the community to exercise caution when relying on the accuracy of social media and be aware of posts that contain baseless and misleading information regarding Council Rock. If you question what you're seeing and need additional details on a matter, or simply need a reliable fact check, please reach out to the district directly. Our contact information is readily available on our website at www.crsd.org. This concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Sanko. Solicitor report,
Thank you.
Mr. Amuso is here.
Yeah. Thank you, Mrs. Polly. I do want to report the board met in executive session on Monday for matters regarding labor relations. Concludes my report.
We have public comment next, but nobody has signed up for public comment, so we can proceed to the next item, which is the approval of minutes of the meeting of the board on April 18, 2024. Can I have a motion, please? Mr. Tate?
I move to approve the minutes of the meeting of the School Board of Directors held on April 18, 2024.
Second.
Mr. Zaki, second. Are there any objections or any discussion?
Discussion, objection.
Mr. Hidalgo?
Thank you. So I apologize for not giving Ms. Nelms a little more heads up. I was reviewing the minutes, and what stood out to me was the old business discussion, which is item 10B. There's two comments I think that, well, I don't think it really reflects what the conversation that went on. The two things I kind of am objecting to is the note that says that the second letter, January 17th, would be considered as a revised proposal. I'm not going to sit here and, rehash what we're talking about, but we didn't even know that there was a letter at the time on January 17th, so we wouldn't have known. So I don't know if that's one thing. And then that the board for years had operated without rates that were charged, that we didn't know what the rates were, yet we approved the rates every month. It's not a secret what rates were charged. And also Rudolph Clark did not know the current solicitor rates, but on the 14th of January, before we voted on it, Eastburn and Gray did provide leadership, and then leadership provider, Dr. Senko, gave us the rates. So when we went in there, they did know what the rates were before we ruled on it. So I look at this, and then I think about, when we talk about a revised proposal, there was conversation about Mr. Clark saying that the first one wasn't a proposal and a non-proposal. And so who revised it or what? This doesn't reflect the meeting minutes. So I'll just vote no. There's going to be probably more looking into this as we move forward, but I just wanted to vote no, and I encourage people to vote no for the minutes based on 10B. We'll leave it there.
Are there any other comments? Mr. Roosevelt?
Thank you. These meetings are recorded on YouTube and posted. I don't know if anybody has a problem or an objection with all of our meetings moving forward, reflecting that they are posted on YouTube, and to perhaps provide a link within the minutes to view them. I don't know if that's something that's possible or not, but it may be helpful in certain circumstances. Thank you.
I do have one question.
Mr. Hidalgo?
I was going to ask Ms. Nelms was there any other conversation, or that was just your own interpretation of the new old business, or did you have input from other people?
I listened and noted every single comment made during that old board comment.
Okay.
And instead of repeating the same items over and over, I tried to summarize it the best that I could.
Okay, thank you. But there's no other input from anybody else?
No, there was not.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Can we please vote on this motion?
Sorry, it's taking a minute. Edward Tate,
Yes.
Joseph Hidalgo,
No?
Mike Roosevelt,
No.
Bob Hickey,
Yes.
Yoda Pally,
Yes.
Tracy Osecki,
Yes.
Nicole Kahn,
Yes.
Linda Stone,
Yes.
and Ann Horner.
Yes.
Okay. So it's 7-2, and it passes.
Okay, thank you. Education Committee, report and approval of consent agenda items. Mrs. Khan?
Good evening. There was no Education Committee meeting held in April due to the Superintendent's Parent Advisory Meeting, which was held on April 29th. However, there are some items that I would like to re-highlight. The administration has spent over the past 4.5 months working hard to evaluate the implementation of full-day kindergarten for Council Rock and the impacts it will have on our community and district. As Dr. Senko already stated, a community interest survey will be going out to those who wish to participate on Monday, May 20th, and will close on June 2nd. The research survey firm Hanover has been tasked with helping our administration to complete and implement the survey, as well as compile the data results. Over the course of the past several months, full-day kindergarten has been discussed at each of our committee meetings. In order to communicate and present all the findings, the administration will hold a community presentation of their exploration and findings on June 4th at Holland Middle School at 7 p.m. The administration will also provide information in a dedicated section for full-day kindergarten information on the district website. The administration was asked specifically recently at a meeting regarding some misinformation about redistricting for full-day kindergarten. It has been stated by Dr. Sanko on several occasions that redistricting is mutually exclusive from full-day kindergarten and also from restrooms in those kindergarten classrooms. In regards to Wrightstown Elementary School specifically, the implementation of full-day kindergarten would not require redistricting at this time. I can personally speak to the concerns from the Wrightstown families since I'm a Wrightstown resident and one of those families impacted by the redistricting that took place about 5 years ago after Wrightstown Elementary School was renovated. The administration will continue to address the overcrowding at Wrightstown Elementary School to find a more permanent and long-term solution for our families. Special education will become a regular addition to our educational agenda moving forward so we can continue to improve and focus on improving our program. The books piloted for our Council Rock High School students, both at North and South, have been on display here at the Chancellor Center for the past 30 days for the public and seeking board approval. There will be a new selection of books available for the public to view for next year's pilot programs. I wanted to congratulate all of the CREF grant winners this year. The CREF Prize Patrol invited board members to attend their surprises to all the teachers who won a grant. It was exciting to see, and I thank CREF Director Bethann Dobosh and Ms. Jennifer Fanciel for letting us join them. I look forward to the exciting new additions these grants will bring to the students in Council Rock. In addition, I had the opportunity to visit a 5th grade classroom at Holland Elementary School, Ms. Melissa Hackett, who was awarded a previous CREF grant, to see the grant in action. It was very enjoyable and an educational experience for myself. The 5th graders blew me away with their knowledge of STEAM and science. Kudos to Ms. Hackett for making this unforgettable educational experience for the students using the hummingbird and makey-makey technology that she won with her grant. And thank you for CREF for allowing this to happen. I also wanted to note that I was able to visit Ms. Erin Demkitz's class, Holocaust Museum, this past month. And again, it was a very educational and moving experience for myself. The 3 curators of the museum were exceptional students. They will go on to do great things. The next Education Committee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. here at the Chancellor Center. There will be a presentation about Council Rock partnering with CHOP to become a heart-safe school, which is part of a larger nationally recognized safety program to ensure schools are equipped with the training and resources to save a life if a cardiac emergency occurs. Also, presentations about new grant funding and discussion of special education will be found on our agenda for next week. This concludes my report. I'm going to go ahead for approval items. There is an item on this agenda, item C. I would like to actually table this item in regards to the significant financial obligation that it would mean for the district. I, as the chair for the Education Committee, we did not have an opportunity to discuss this as a board. So I would like to move to table this discussion item C, the BCIU contract, for the time being until next month.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Are there any?
For motions to table, we just vote.
Okay. Vote.
Yeah, so we're having a motion on, or a vote on the motion to table.
Would you like me to restate the motion?
You're going to restate it?
Would you like me to?
Using the proper letters, we're going to withhold.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. I move to table item C, the BCIU contract to a later date after it had said discussion at the Education Committee.
I second.
And Ms. Stone seconded.
So then we have to do C3.
Let's vote on the
We
motion.
have to vote on this.
It's okay.
Joseph Hidalgo,
Yes.
Bob Hickey,
Yes.
Ann Horner,
Yes.
Nicole Khan,
Yes.
Tracy Aseki,
Yes.
Yoda Pally,
Yes.
Michael Roosevelt,
Yes.
Linda Stone,
Yes.
and Edward Tate.
Yes.
Apologies, I didn't know you were waiting for a call. So that's 9-0, so that passes. We can move forward.
So it's unanimous consent. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I will continue. I now would like to move to approve consent agenda items B and items D through J as contained in the attachments to this agenda. D through I, sorry, there was an adjustment. I'll restate that. All right, I move to approve consent agenda items B and D through I as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second, please.
Second. Second.
Who was first? Mr. Hidalgo? Okay. Ms. Horner? Okay. Do we have any comments or discussion about these consent items? So we can approve it unanimously? Consent, yeah. Bucks County Intermediate Unit Representative, Ms. Oseki?
Okay, so the IU hasn't met since our last school board meeting. We meet on Tuesday, the 21st, but in the meantime, I am pleased to announce that Donna Dolan has been selected by the IU as a recipient of their Caring Community Award. They write, Donna Dolan is the Administrative Assistant to the Director of Special Education in Council Rock School District. IU-related services staff members entrust her as their first district contact for resources and support to work efficiently in the school district. Donna is always welcoming, helpful, and professional in providing iterants who are new to the district with the logistics they need to be successful in a prompt manner. Her contributions ensure Bucks IU staff can provide quality services as soon as possible to ensure students with disabilities can learn and flourish. So congratulations, Donna.
Can I say a comment?
Is that the conclusion? Okay. Go ahead, Mr.
A
Hidalgo.
comment about Ms. Dolan. She's the front line for the lunch program too, so she's always on the phone and one of the best. So I'm glad she got that award. She's got my recognition too, if that means nothing, but it's okay.
So Middle Bucks Institute of Technology representative, I assume Ms. Horner, no? It's Mr.
Yeah, no, I
Hickey
switched
today.
it up this time, yeah.
Go ahead.
Anyway, the Executive Council, we met on May 7th, and some of the items that we discussed and voted on included MBIT will be joining the Technology Pool Council Consortium. This is a legal firm will be providing resources and advice to member schools as it relates to the ever-evolving technological landscape. In good news for Dr. Sanko, Dr. Lentz from the New Hope Soulbury will continue his role as the superintendent on record. So it'll free up maybe a couple nights of the month for you so you can spend it here. The welding laboratory is moving along, and it is on schedule to open in September. Our state Skills USA winners were recognized. They're going to be traveling to Atlanta for nationals. Good luck to all. Ms. Warziniak mentioned the Greenville Youth Film Festival winners were recognized, and also the National Technology Honor Society with the 40 members. MBIT will be performing their accounting duties in-house going forward instead of outsourcing through ADP. We've already done a first run, and things went rather smoothly. The Summer Career Exploration Program is opening from July 8th to the 12th, and applications are still there. And staffing assignments have been approved for the 2025 school year. In some other noteworthy items, the MBIT Philanthropy Club, which consists of students from across many of the programs at MBIT, recently redesigned and refinished 2 waiting areas at the Bucks County Justice Center. These rooms are in the family court and children's court section of the complex. Rooms are made to be comfortable for families awaiting court hearings. There was a big celebration there last week at the courthouse. Also, Waring's Cares donated $5,000 to MBIT for the purchase of power tools going forward. And one of the MBI teachers, Sherry Appleton, who is in the medical and health professions, is a finalist for the Pennsylvania Teacher of the Year in 2025. As a reminder, the MBIT graduation is on June 3rd, and our next meeting is on June 4th. And that concludes my report.
Wonderful news from MBIT. Thank you. Council Rock Education Foundation Liaison, Mr. Tate.
Thank you, Ms. Polly. That was a nice ceremony this evening celebrating the innovation grants. I believe that was a record amount for the innovation grants. And when you dovetail that with the pianos purchases, I think it's been an amazing year for the Council Rock Education Foundation. And I'll just remind you that the golf outing is on June 24th. It's at Jericho Country Club in our district, and I was there Monday, and the course looks fantastic, and it's a lot of fun. So please think about one person can sign up or a foursome or more. So we welcome people to join us on June 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. These courts are almost across my house. I see how wonderful they are almost every day, but don't play golf. Policy Committee, Ms. Ozeki, Mr. Tate.
We'll just note that there was no policy committee meeting this month, and so therefore there's no report. Thank you.
So Facilities Committee report and approval of consent agenda items, and Mrs. Khan, yeah.
Good evening again. The Facilities Committee meeting was held on Thursday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. here at the Chancellor Center. It is that time of the year where services and items for the district go out to bid. The agenda from the evening was a full one with many items looking for approval this evening. The administration has brought to the current board's attention the need to make some important and difficult decisions regarding facilities. As many of you may know, the Chancellor Center, the administrative building of Council Rock, which holds approximately 80 employees, correct me if I'm incorrect, Dr. Sanko, is a historic and sentimental building to our district, but it is in need of major renovations if it were to remain as the administrative building. The necessary renovations are not new and long overdue. Dr. Sanko and his team will need a decision because whatever the decision of the board may be, it will take some time to implement the changes. In the past few months, the administration has received updated appraisals for the various facilities, and to my personal surprise, the value of some of these properties are not as high as one would expect. The task of decision, the task that we have on hand for making decisions for the future of Council Rock is a very difficult one. In several of the previous Facilities Committee meetings, there have been discussion around a master plan for facilities. It has been many years, to my knowledge, since the district has one completed. With items such as the Chancellor Center, possible full-day kindergarten, overcrowding at certain schools, upcoming renovations, and the future of Council Rock buildings, the board, along with administrative support, will be hiring a master planning consultant, so thoughtful and educated decisions for the future of Council Rock can be made. Here is a summary of some other items that were discussed at the last facilities meeting. Approval for summer bids from the previous year's board approval based upon another previous playground study. 3 schools will get updates to their playground structures this summer, which includes Holland Elementary School, Wrightstown Elementary School, and Newtown Elementary School. Thank you to the Holland Elementary School PTO for providing funds for a shade structure that the school had desired to have. In the summer of 2025, the 4 remaining elementary schools, Maureen M. Welch, Goodnoe, Churchville, and Rolling Hills, are projected to receive their playground updates. The most recently renovated schools, Hillcrest, Soulfinestone, and the upcoming Richboro Elementary Schools, had playground updates as part of their renovations. As part of the playground study and previous board approval, all elementary school playgrounds will have a communication board. I'm also happy to report that the budget approved for the playgrounds in 2023 and the current bids that we received were actually less. So therefore, the approximate $272,149 in savings will be used toward next year's summer playground budget. The full-day kindergarten discussion continued specifically around the classroom furniture, cubbies, and bathrooms. The administration has recaptured the most up-to-date information from building principals to ensure that each elementary school has the capacity, based upon projections, for enrollment if full-day kindergarten is to be implemented for the 2025-26 school year. Discussion was also had, if approved, that the estimated one-time cost for full-day kindergarten would be made from the Educational Initiatives Fund. This concludes my report. The next facilities meeting will be held on Thursday, June 6th at 7 p.m. here at the Chancellor Center. I now move to approve consent agenda items B through N as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Stone? Are there any objections or discussion for these items? Mr. Roosevelt?
Thank you. No objections. I do have a comment regarding the playground bid. I believe in the past, there's been discussions, have all of the principals from each of the schools signed off on these additions and playground designs. I think that was discussed in previous meetings and was going to be obtained. I just want to follow up if that's occurred yet or still working on it.
I have a signature from each principal that they were included in the planning of the projects.
Thank you.
Any other discussion items or objections? So we can mark that unanimous consent. Thank you. So we move on to the Finance Committee report and approval of consent agenda items. And who is doing? Ms. Ozeki.
Okay, good evening. The business office continues to work on the upcoming budget. We held 2 special meetings to review the budget with the school board, and there will be a public forum, as Dr. Sanko mentioned, to discuss the budget and answer community questions on May 29th at Newtown Middle School. This has not occurred in several years, and we are happy to bring back this forum as another way to communicate with the public. I also want to thank Tony Rapp and his team for their hard work in putting the budget together. I know it was a lot of work, and you gave us a nice, thick budget book tonight, so we have some good reading to do over the weekend. The board met on May 9th for our regular finance meeting, and we discussed the items we'll be voting on tonight. A few items I wanted to just pull out and note. One is that we've continued to get more and more information on the cost of full-day kindergarten and how that will affect next year's budget. Administration has proposed a tax increase of 2.6%, of which only about 1/5 will be used for the cost of full-day kindergarten. The average homeowner would have an increased tax bill of about $36 this year, and it would be about the same next year. That's associated with the cost of full-day kindergarten. I also want to bring to your attention the administration's recommendation to switch food service providers from Chartwell's to Aramark. I want to commend the administration because I thought they handled this really exceptionally well. We went out for bid. We had a community panel with teachers, administrators, students, and parents that reviewed the presentations and the food choices. And then Mr. Rapp negotiated the best deal possible with the preferred vendor. Most of the employees will be the same, most likely, and Aramark will continue to work with the Achieve graduates who serve in the district's cafeterias. So thank you to the administration and to the business office for that procedure, and thank you to Chartwells for their years of service to the district. Lastly, tonight we are going to approve 2 donations, one from Giant Food Stores and one from the Holland Elementary PTO. I can speak for everyone on the board as well as the administration when we thank them for their kind donations. And with that, I move to approve consent agenda items B through Y as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second?
Second.
Ms. Kang, second. Are there any objections or questions? Mr. Hickey, I saw you first.
Not really an objection, just a comment. Particularly, first of all, Wonderful evening with the CREF grants this evening, but piggybacking on that, I just wanted to commend the Holland Elementary PTO for that donation. It's not a small donation. I believe the CREF donation tonight was in the neighborhood of $47,000, which was a record. This Holland donation was close to $40,000, and that was raised just from their PTO. That's an incredible amount of money which will be put to good use. And a lot of the PTOs, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. I mean, so I'm glad this is on there because it's not just the Holland PTO that does great things for this district. All these PTOs, they work hard. They're under the radar. They get very little recognition. They do all this out of the kindness of their hearts. They give their time, their talent, and their treasures, to coin a phrase from somebody I know. And these are wonderful ideas that they really help to add to the educational experience of all of our students. And I believe you were a PTO president, so you could probably add on to what I had to say. And but like I said, I just wanted to really thank that Holland PTO for their most generous donation.
I agree. Thank you, Holland PTO. Mr. Roosevelt, or who's first?
Mr. Hidalgo can go first.
Mr. Hidalgo.
Thank you, both of you. So I also wanted to say Giant Foods, almost over $13,000 of private corporation giving to a school district like ours is great. Reminds me of the Fred Beans, also another great partner that has shown up over the years. So thank you guys. I'm gonna actually do something. You have something positive to say? Okay, I'll let you go first, then I'll come back to me.
Okay, Mr. Roosevelt, positive, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to echo the sentiments from Mr. Tate and Mr. Hickey regarding the CREF grants, which I thought were wonderful to see the Council Rock Education Foundation providing grants to the entire district and putting recognition for the teachers and their work. I thought that was wonderful. Echoing Mr. Hickey's comments about the PTOs in general, I believe last year, at the beginning of this year, didn't we, Dr. Sanko? In September, we sought to, as a board, acknowledge the effort that the PTOs had done. I believe, did we have a total for that?
I don't remember the exact total, but it was nearly $500,000.
Okay. Yeah, so it is really wonderful work, and I think that opportunities for recognition of these individuals often doesn't occur. A lot of times what they do is for the kids, and I think it is important to recognize PTOs. And this one in particular is particularly generous and wonderful. So that was my comment regarding that. I also have a comment about E, which is a sort of boilerplate comment that this board issues around this time of the year to indicate the proposed final general fund budget. So this is what this board is required to do, is to pass a budget. And in order to do that, the timing is to pass a preliminary budget. And it reflects tax increases and budgets and revenues and expenditures that may or may not reflect the final. So this does not mean that we are passing everything that is seen in here. It is meeting the state requirement. Is that correct, Mr. Rapp?
Yes, that is correct. We have to have it approved 30 days before the actual final approval.
Thank you. And additionally, I think that it's also interesting if anybody in the public, as I believe some people do, look through these budgets, look at both the final budgets that get passed, look at the audited financial statements that then follow it up. And Mr. Rapp did a wonderful job at the last Finance Committee meeting of showing previous years' expenditures, revenues, as well as completion budgets for this board's consideration. I asked a question at that time because, not that Mr. Rapp missed this, but it was just some additional information that I thought was additionally interesting for context, which is oftentimes, as in last year, the final budget reflects a deficit. But once all the payments and everything comes in, due to conservative budgeting to make sure the district is in a positive financial position, that practice is followed and often results in a surplus. So, Mr. Rapp, I don't know if you have had the opportunity to compile some of that for the previous years of what the final resulting budgets before transfers internally to different internal funds had occurred.
I had compiled 10 prior years last year, which was given to the board last year. I do have that I can send out to the board again, if you like.
That would be great, but just in brief, could we just go over the past 3 years, what the resulting actual was?
Yeah, do you mean prior to budgeted transfers or?
Correct, yes.
Or prior to unbudgeted transfers, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Yes, in 22-23, the change in fund balance before transfer was a positive $7,645,551. In the end of the 21-22 school year, the change before unbudgeted transfers was $9,254,997. And at the end of the 2021 school year, the change in fund balance before transfers was a positive $14,684,971.
Thank you very much. That is additional context, exactly what I was looking for. Thanks very much, Mr. Rapp.
So just a reminder, Mr. Rapp will present the preliminary budget at the community forum on the 29th of the month, and we will have to vote on the final budget in June, because it's required. And I'm sure there will be a lot of questions then, and I expect Mr. Rapp, you will also present the budget to us at the next board meeting when we have to do the final vote, correct?
At the board meeting on the 20th?
Yes.
I mean, generally I would present it at the finance committee meeting, but if you would like a presentation at the board meeting, I would.
We usually have a summary presentation at the board meeting, yeah.
Of course, whatever you ask.
Thank you. Mr. Hidalgo.
Thank you, Ms. Polly. So I'll go back to the budget. I don't know if I was listening or not that day, or was I in the road or there? But the point is so just some feedback for me. When we pass a budget, it's all guessing. The only thing in this budget we're passing, or at least one of the main concrete things, is the increase in taxes. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about what we're doing. I think the proposal was 4.6, somewhere around there, 4.65, 2.6, something like that. So in the past, we've talked about trying to just do a 2% slow and steady, just, not 0, not 3, but something, and then live within the means. And then the discussion, what Mr. Rosa, what Mike was talking about, which was, we know where we were last year, and you didn't want to really come out and say where we were going to be. Obviously, you don't want to put the cart before the horse and be wrong. So I appreciate that. And my thoughts were okay, because some people wanted to go last year 3.5%, right? That was discussion, or above 3 it was. And I'm like, well, if we did good based on last year, and I know your discussion last week was saying, well, we're going to need this money. So, you were already saying you recommend the 2.5 or 2.6. For me, I'm trying to say, I prefer to stick to what we've been talking about, which was do 2%, if at all, and then live within our means. You can get rid of the $500,000 buffer. It's really just a fluff there, that undesignated fund balance, or whatever it was we were using, I'm sorry. There was a budget you were putting in there, $500,000 for undeclared, which wasn't in the budgets before. Do you understand? Because you look like you don't know what I was talking about. Okay, so whether you put that in there or not, it's not customary, so when you look at the deficit that we get, if we lower the tax increase, if you just take out that 500,000 undesignated increase in the budget, that's one way to push the numbers down, I'm anticipating, like we have been getting, is that the revenue is going to come in higher, we're going to have another surplus, and I just want to live within the means. So if next year we find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, then we can increase the taxes like that, than to be proactive. Plus, we have that kindergarten allocation, which may end up going towards debt or anything else in our budget. So I just wanted to put out there, as you're thinking, me publicly, looking for something closer to 2%, maybe take out a $500,000 just floater, I'll call it, in the budget that's not designated, and just see what that looks like, because still, I'll say 2.6 when you have the Act 1 index over 5% is still modest. But again, every penny counts for the people in the school district, especially the ones more vulnerable. It might not affect most of us, but I do think about everybody. And that's one part. We care about the children. We care about the community. We care about our teachers. We care about the livelihood of everybody that contributes. But I just won't forget the little guy. And so you have to keep that in mind as we go forward, to be conscientious of increasing the taxes. Especially if we end up, last year we ended up with a surplus. We wanted to go to 3%, as I'm just reiterating myself. So that being said, I just wanted, since we're talking about the budget, wanted to put that in your ear. And then I wanted to move on to something else, unless you have something you want to say about what my input. If you don't feel obligated to.
Do you want me to respond, or, I mean, I don't?
If you want to.
Can we get,
Maybe Mr. Tate wants to respond.
Mr. Zeki says he wants to respond.
Yeah, I was going to ask for Mr. Rapp to take a second, and two things I wanted to follow up to Mr. Hidalgo's point. Obviously, we all would like to have the lowest tax increase as possible. I agree, 2% would be lovely. The way that I remember it wasn't a $500,000 fluff budget, so I wanted to give you the opportunity to expand on what he's talking about, please. And then, if you don't mind, also discussing the rebate program briefly.
The $500,000 reserve is something, that would not be the first time that it is done in Council Rock. It was done for several years before last year. We did not implement, we took it out of the budget last year because of where we started with a large deficit, and the thought process was we weren't going to ask for a reserve since we had so many other things to there were things that we needed to cut down on, but we should start with that. That would be a bad thing to ask for last year. In the position that we're at now, it's a common budgeting tool to ensure that we're prepared for costs that are not expected in the upcoming year. So that's common for that. We are proposing in this budget that in conjunction with the increase in the rebate program that the state is giving, where it's increased from, I believe the maximum was $650, is now going to be $1,000 at the state rebate level, and the additional is still at 50% of that. So a homeowner at the lowest income level that qualifies for a rebate that meets the criteria for the additional will collect a rebate of $1,500. And it also increases the income amount. The income ceiling last year in prior years was $35,000. Now they've increased it to $45,000. So anyone in that $35,001 to $45,000 range will qualify for the rebate. We're also proposing that that we change our percentage of the rebate from 75% to 100%. I did a calculation on the current year rebates, and if the Pennsylvania rebates were in effect this year, and we did 100% this year, it would have basically doubled the amount of rebates that we would have given out in total. So we gave out about 26,000. It would have been over 50,000 that we would have given out. So I think that I do think that those who need relief the most are going to get more relief. And if you look at the average tax increase that this is going, which is about $163 for the average assessed value of about $45,000, they would actually, between that increase and this and the rebate, they would actually come back. They would actually not earn, but they would do better next year than they would have this year. They would get more of a rebate than they would pay in extra taxes.
Thank you, Mr. Tate.
Thank you, Ms. Pelley. Mr. Dago, I appreciate your dedication to the district and how much you care about our students, as we all do, and taxpayers in the district. But I really have to object to some of the language you used. You used the word guessing in the context of this budget preparation. You used the word fluff. Neither one of those is fair or appropriate. We have met more frequently this year in preparation of this budget than I can ever recall in my 8.5 years on the board. This budget has been more thoughtfully and meticulously prepared than I've ever seen. It's a very well thought out and a very conservative budget.
is very nice, I must say.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
So I said, and he might want to listen to because maybe Donna can listen because I said, I know you have 3% items. Why? But there's also the personnel items.
Yeah, we do.
So I'll do that.
No,
Somebody else.
usually somebody else does. So we can.
No, we haven't. Oh, that's why, that's why.
I can,
We're still waiting for, we have a first and a second, we're waiting for the vote.
Yeah, we have some.
To meet Mr. Hidalgo and Mr. Roosevelt, or they said after the meeting they'd stop by. Okay. I have to finish it up by August. So. And then I'll take this to me.
That's part of the job description.
You want to check with Rob Dolan to see if we're good on the sound? You said yes?
I'll double check.
No good.
Okay, so we're back from a short recess. We have some technical problems. We lost audio. While Mr. Tate was speaking, Mr. Tate, would you like to continue or repeat any of your prior statements?
Well, thank you, Ms. Pally. I'll just say that as I said earlier, this budget has been meticulously prepared. Mr. Rapp has done an exhaustive job and done a really excellent job of presenting the information to the board in a very understandable way. We've had a lot of discussion in addition to our Finance Committee meetings. We've had, so far, 2 special budget meetings. We had one last Monday. 8 of the 9 board members participated in that meeting, and we're going to have a special budget hearing on May 29th. And we're going to discuss the budget again at the next Finance Committee meeting, and we're going to discuss the budget at the June business meeting when we vote on final adoption. I think we've done a very good job of understanding and asking questions and making sure that this budget is appropriate and meets the needs of our students and teachers, and we're looking at a tax increase that is reasonable. It's not insignificant. None of us lose sight of that. All of us are taxpayers. But as I said earlier, given the context of nationwide inflation, the cost of the goods and services that we have to purchase, that we've seen go up, we control it as much as we can with competitive bidding, and we are very effective in that sense. But there's a lot of cost increases that are beyond our control. I'm confident that this is a good budget. There's no guessing, there's no fluff in here, and as I said, my hope is that indeed we do end next year, that we end this year with a surplus, and that we end next year with a surplus. Thank you.
Mr. Hidalgo?
Thank you, Ms. Polly. And Mr. Tate, thank you for the kind words before the recess and for sharing your thoughts, because that's a beautiful thing about America. You get to share your thoughts, and I'm a big proponent of it. So I'll joke around and say I'll definitely think of choosing my words a little bit differently when we speak about budget. Instead of saying fluff, I could just say undesignated reserves. That's just another word. Instead of guessing, I could use the word estimate. That's probably less offensive. Because if you're going to say you're offended by guessing, it's not a knock on Mr. Rapp, who I've, basically touted as the greatest thing since sliced bread, since he's been on his board in this school district. I really appreciate the work that he does. With some of the financial background, I do like accountants that do the work that he does. But as far as, and guessing, then you say you don't want to hear the word guessing, but then at the end of the day, we're either getting a surplus or a deficit. So what I'm saying is still true. You're not, and you don't know where you're going to end up. So however we can get offline and try to figure out how I can say that in a less offensive way. But unless you're coming in on budget, you're estimating. and that's part of it. Some people use the word guesstimate. That's probably even more offensive. So I'm trying to joke around a little bit here. And I understand you want that budget to where it is, and I'm being a little more fiscally conservative when I've seen budgets come in over, and I anticipate it. I mean, the thing is what do we put? $8 million into capital reserves. Boom, all of a sudden, and before that, it was even more, had we not done all these capital transfers, which was well needed. And I'm not saying we don't need tax increases. I see things down the road that doesn't make sense, doesn't hurt to do the 2.5 or 6, and we can always back off. But I'm just trying to live within our means. As I said, I've said it before, you tighten those purse strings. If you loosen them up, the money's going to fall out. It's just the way it is. So that's my stance. My stance is, keep it as conservative as possible. And other than that, I have other things one last thing I wanted to talk about besides the budget, and that was to pull out, again, the treasurer's report.
While we are on that, can we see if somebody else has a comment? Because I've heard some people
Well, I'm
wanting
just going to say what I'm saying while I'm talking. Please pull out the treasurer's report as we had done before, which would be B. I'm going to vote separately no to the treasurer's report, so however that has to happen. There's one item that, of course, there's been discussion and questions about the fees being charged by Rudolph and Clark, and I'm just not satisfied with the knowledge that I know that we have hit the mark that satisfies me to approve it. So I'm just going to vote no to the treasurer's report due to the $100 and some thousand that Rudolph and Clark is charging at a rate that seems to be different than the information that I believe we should follow.
Okay, well, first I was going to make a procedural comment, but just to be clear, we're absolutely charging what we agreed to at the last meeting. But if you want to make amend, so we have a consent agenda motion that's been seconded, so it's being debated. So you're suggesting amending the consent agenda to remove, I think you said, item B, is that correct?
I think that would be a good motion.
All right, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it, but isn't the act of a board member having issues substantial enough to remove it from consent, demonstrating that there isn't consent? I believe this body has done that in the past.
I appreciate that. Normally it happens beforehand. So it's just, we have a motion before. So
we'll do it for next month too.
So now we have a motion to amend the motion to remove B. So we'll now vote on that motion to amend the motion.
You want to vote to pull out the motion of B.
We have what we have before us is a consent agenda. Now there's a motion to amend that consent agenda to remove B.
Okay, so it's to amend the, all right, so we'll take a roll call vote to
Yes.
amend the agenda. Okay. Bob Hickey?
Yes.
Ann Horner?
Yes.
Nicole Khan?
Yes.
Tracy Hiseki?
No.
Yoda Pally?
No.
Michael Roosevelt?
Yes.
Linda Stone?
No.
Edward Tate?
No.
And Joe Hidalgo?
Yes.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 noes.
Great. So the motion now is the consent agenda minus B.
Okay.
So on the items of the consent agenda minus B, I think some board members, like Ms. Stone, you had raised your hand. Do you have to say something about it?
No, I'm fine now.
Okay. Ms. Ozeki?
Why don't we vote on this? I want to.
Okay. Mr. Hickey?
Removal.
We're going to vote on you're going to vote on the consent agenda, and then after that, you're going to have a motion to approve B, someone will second, and then we'll debate motion B.
it appropriate time to bring it up?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Then I do have a question about the budget. I do want to make sure that the public knows that it's just the proposed final budget, that this is not necessarily where we're going to end up. If anyone listened to me in the committee meeting, you know, I had suggested ways to actually bring that 2.6 number down more towards that 2% number that Mr. Hidalgo talked about. And to his point, earlier in the year at a finance committee meeting, we did projections at 2% for the next 5 years to see where we would stand. So we did kind of settle on a 2% number going forward, if indeed possible. Mr. Rapp, like you said, a phenomenal job on the budget and what you did prepare. And like you said, we have an opportunity to tweak it, you know, so we said, like, I've have reservations about paying for kindergarten in advance, and I made some reservations about adding to the debt balance. I think it was $1 million, and what it would do to the budget if we cut it in half. I have another question, though, that this is kind of out of left field, and maybe it's for committee. Do we have to accept money from the federal government? And what is the implication if we don't?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to whether or not we can accept, we have to accept it. I do know that we would, we have federal money that pays for a portion of low-income student education assistance, additional education for low-income students. We get a large amount of money from the federal government for special services, so we would have to make up $1.8 million in special services next year. Our cafeteria program, we receive a significant amount of money from the federal government in the food service program. We would, all the students who get free and reduced meals would not get that through, we would not be able to provide those free and reduced meals, which is also a significant amount of money every year.
But at our committee meeting, you said the total number was 1.8 million, or is that a figure that's not correct?
Our total federal money?
Yes.
No, so when I explained it, there's the federal money, which is about, I believe it's about $1.8 million. That's marked as federal. There's an additional $1.8 million that's marked as local. That is federal money that's passed through the IU. So that's another $1.8 million, and that's the proper accounting treatment for that $1.8 million, according to the PDE, to treat it as local revenue.
Yeah, and the whole reason for my point was I am a firm believer that education is best handled at the local level. The closer it can get to the local level without having to rely on either the state or the federal government is, I think, best for our district. And if we didn't have to take the money and we could survive without it, I would really consider rejecting the money. But it seems like it's a substantial amount of money, more than $1.8 million. So.
I just want to say, as far as regulations from the federal government, most of them are fiscal and they're common sense as far as, you know, what we're allowed to do, how we have to, you know, spend money and how we put it away. And on the other side of it are the nutritional guidelines that we have to follow for the food service money. And those are, I would say those are good for our students, and it's not something in our elementary and middle schools that we would not want to have.
Yeah, and I think that our local administration would be able to make those same wise decisions, and possibly even better, because who knows best about our district than the people in our district?
Yeah, yes, and all I was commenting was that there's nothing onerous about the federal regulations that we have to follow from accepting federal money.
Can we proceed with the vote? I think we should probably, we should do a roll call.
So we have a first and a second?
Yeah, so we're voting on the amended motion. So that amended motion is the consent agenda minus item B.
So it's still Tracy, Aseki, and Ms. Khan?
Correct.
Okay, I just need to make sure that that's what we're doing. Ann Horner?
Explain to me what we're doing.
Consent agenda is minus B.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I think we're in the middle of a vote.
Yes, we're in the middle of a vote.
Roll call, please.
Vote, and you said yes, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Nicole Khan?
Yes.
Tracy Aseki?
Yes.
Yehuda Pally?
Yes.
Michael Roosevelt?
Yes.
Linda Stone?
Yes.
Edward Tate?
Yes.
Joseph Hidalgo?
Yes.
And Bob Hickey?
Yes.
Okay, so that's unanimous.
Excellent. Unanimous consent. So we're going to need a motion to approve the treasurer's report next.
Could I speak now?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the efforts from our solicitor to make sure that we're following procedural. I just want to point out a point of confusion and comparison, perhaps, Mr. Amuso, you could articulate. During the education section of the meeting, Mrs. Khan asked to remove an item from consent. And I don't believe it occurred the same level of.
Well, it was the motion to table, and there was a second, and we voted on it, so it's the same situation.
Okay. I'll also point out that in other meetings, there's been requests to remove an item from consent that haven't required all the vote.
Yeah, I just think in this particular case, that request did not come until after the motion to consent was made and seconded. So I think in the future, if somebody wants something off the consent agenda, just say, please remove this from the consent agenda.
Thank you for clarifying.
Motion for item B.
Yes. I move to approve the treasurer's report.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Suzeki, second. Any comments, any objections? Mr. Roosevelt?
Well, we already know that there's an objection. Mr. Hidalgo has indicated that, right? So are we?
At the wrong time,
proceeding?
but yes.
Right, so I'm trying to get things back on.
So there's been a motion and a second, and now we can deliberate or we can vote. I believe Mr. Hidalgo indicated he would vote no, which is obviously fine. But you're also welcome to deliberate, so.
Don't need to beat it. Just want to do what my heart feels.
All right, can I call the vote?
Roll call.
Yes.
Edward Tate?
Yes.
Joseph Hidalgo?
No?
Mike Roosevelt?
Yes.
Bob Hickey?
Yes.
Yehuda Pally?
Yes.
Tracy Aseki?
Yes.
Nicole Khan?
Yes.
Linda Stone?
Yes.
And Ann Horner?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 8-1.
Thank you. So before we move on to personnel actions, Dr. Sango would like to say something? Yeah?
Thank you, Mrs. Polly. Tonight in the personnel actions, we're asking the board to consider Mrs. Kim Voriotos, who we are asking you to approve tonight to join the Council Rock administrative team and our family as a special ed supervisor. Kim comes to us most recently by way of the Morrisville School District. Prior to that, she was in the Downingtown Area School District. Kim also comes to us with both classroom and administrative experience, and I would like to thank Kim and her husband, Tim, who's here to support her tonight, for being here. And I just would wanted you to know that before you move on to the personnel actions.
Welcome, thank you. Well, let's vote on it first. So, Ms. Horner, would you like to make the motion?
I move to approve the statement of charge, is that? That was
It's item Z, personnel
C
actions.
and double A and B, right? Okay. So on Z and double A, I move to approve the personnel actions as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second? Mr. Hidalgo, second. Any comments, any objections? Go ahead.
So I'm looking, congratulations. I heard good things about you. You know, post age 22, age out information too. So that's a great resource for the school district. And then one that surprises me is Ryan Murphy, another good friend of mine. I know you'll probably save that for another time when he's around, but wow, I was just trying to call him today, and you know, he's out for right now, but great choice. Love that guy. Another great gem that the school district has, and I love when we find great people from outside the school district and really hold on to the gems on the inside. So good job, Dr. Sanko.
Thank you. Did we vote? Are we welcoming Kim?
Yes.
We did not vote yet.
We need a vote.
Are there any objections? So we can consider that consent unanimous. Welcome.
Kim, welcome. If I may put you on the spot and call you to the podium to meet your Board of School Directors and our Council Rock community, on behalf of the administration, Kim, and our students and our families, welcome to Council Rock.
Thank you very much. I just would like to sincerely thank the board, Mr. Devlin, Dr. Senko, and the entire interview committee for giving me this opportunity. I'm excited to be here, excited to join the family and, you know, champion the motto, students first, always. So thank you.
Welcome, Kim.
So next, I think we have to approve item BB. Can I have a motion, please? Oh, I thought, did you do AA?
And AA. We did
Z,
Z
AA.
Yeah, I said Z and NA, and then BB separately.
Can I have a motion for BB, the EDRPP assignments and payments, please?
I move to approve the EDRP assignments payments as contained in the attachment to this agenda.
Second?
I second.
Stone, second. Are there any objections or discussions? So that's a unanimous consent. Thank you. Next is the public comment, but again, we don't have any that signed up for it, so we can proceed with new business. Are there any new business items? Mr. Hickey?
It's something that was mentioned tonight. I don't know if I've done this publicly up here, but I know I've said it in committee meetings and to people in general that many times I feel that we have two separate districts here at Council Rock. We have a northern section and a southern section. And I've always railed against the fact that sometimes we don't seem to mesh very well together. And I don't know who I should thank, whether it's the principals, the student advisory boards. But when Mr. Belder mentioned the Travis Manion Foundation and the 5K run, and he said it was being done in conjunction with the northern end of the district, I was really happy to see that because, you know, I would like to see, like I said, a lot of times I feel that we have two separate districts here, and here's an example of us actually working together with each other, and it was great to see. I know both principals have told me that they work closely together with each other, but I'm glad to see something finally put into action, that something is tangible that we can see, and hopefully we can build across, you know, build upon that and do a lot of other things. It's a collaborative effort between the two ends of the district. So hats off to whoever gets the congratulations for putting this together, and I'm not sure who it is, but thank you.
Very nicely said. Any other new business?
It's new business. I know. I just wanted to follow up with some previous comments about the PTOs. And as Mr. Hickey and Mr. Hidalgo, and I think even Mr. Roosevelt mentioned, there is significant fundraising that happens with, parent volunteers, families that work with the PTOs and the schools directly. Even though there's fundraising, there's also a significant number of events and activities that the PTOs spend their time organizing, planning, and facilitating that are not fundraisers. So there are many events that happen just specifically for the communities itself. Sometimes they also go across schools, and it's shared events for the community. So I just wanted to echo that. And that last week was Teacher Staff Appreciation Week, and I know many of the PTOs went out of their way to make sure that all of our teachers and administrators and staff at Council Rock feel truly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other new business? Old business? Anybody who has any comments for old business? Mr. Roosevelt.
Thank you. I just wanted to share a couple words regarding full-day kindergarten as well. I'm very excited that this body is considering educational initiatives, and I'm happy with the support that the administration has provided, as well as the deliberation that this board has occupied over the past, 4 or 5 months regarding it. I also want to echo some comments of public commenters in the past regarding educational scores. There's evidence out there that our educational scores demonstrate that there's still kids suffering the impacts of learning loss, and looking to provide investments into educational excellence is worthy and supported by this board member. So I'm glad that we're having these conversations regarding full-day kindergarten as a method to resolve that. I just also want to add an element of consideration. I don't believe that the question that the 9 of us should be considering is whether we like full-day kindergarten as an idea or don't like full-day kindergarten as an idea. I believe the question that we should be asking ourselves is full-day kindergarten the best way to reach educational excellence? Is full-day kindergarten the best way to spend potentially $2 million to hire up to 24 or perhaps more teachers? Is that the best way that as a body we can, and as an administration and as a district, we can invest in educational excellence? I don't have a problem with full-day kindergarten. And if the answer is yes, that full-day kindergarten is the best way to accomplish these things, and we can bear that out as an investment, that's wonderful. That's what gets me to yes. I am not a yes or a no, and I've asked during this conversation that we consider the impact, the investment, and the results of things as far as educational excellence. And I look forward to a spirited discussion, and it makes me just wonder when, after sitting here for a couple of years, looking through numbers and looking at the wonderful work that this administration has produced to analyze some of these things under a microscope, which is great. It occurs to me, if we hired 24 people, additional teachers, to, for example, increase the math specialists and the reading specialists at the schools, how would that compare? Would it be wonderful, as this board has been presented, to see that oftentimes educational scores trail off around 3rd grade? Would this be able to help maintain that as it moves through? I think about the middle school kids that transition also with more educational rigor, as it should, moving into middle school, and wonder if there's some way to increase that as well. This budget that we're proposing increases several areas of personnel to hire to the district, which I think is great. And in the past, it seems like the full-time equivalence is a wonderful way to analyze and demonstrate the investments into education each year that this district completes. So, so then I also think of the high schools. This board has also discussed block scheduling. I've taken calls from constituents in favor of block scheduling and those against block scheduling. I've heard from constituents regarding the education of special needs and kids that have IEPs and 504s as well. I wonder if 24 additional people or some segment thereof would benefit that area. I also think of other conversations that this board has entertained regarding high school in pertains to what time of day these kids start school and the best area or the best time of the day for their learning. Would $2 million help high school kids that are preparing for college? Is there an opportunity to help all of these kids? I think that if you are in this district in 4th grade or higher, somewhere in your educational career, you've been impacted by learning loss. And I just want to make sure that we as a body are looking at the best ways to handle the education of the current kids as well as the future kids, and consider all of these in an apples-to-apples comparison. Once again, I want to reiterate, I am not against full-day kindergarten. I am for educational excellence. And it's important, I think, I've been asking myself, which is more important to me? Full-day kindergarten, another educational initiative that I've brought up. I'm sure there's others. We've got a lot of great people out there in the community that come up with some interesting ideas, as well as the 9 of us here that hear from them. That's what I'm in favor of, is investing in this school district from an educational standpoint. And the community deserves the best education that they are willing and able to pay for. And I'm excited that we've spent a significant amount of time talking about how to accomplish that. And I appreciate the comments that everybody has said. So I just hope that everybody considers that. And I'd like to hear other ideas from around this body to see if there's other ways that we can do it. And this is what I do often in my profession. And if you end up putting X's through all of those and you come back to your original idea, it's been tested out, it's been proven, it's demonstratively positive. And that just provides confidence to move forward. And I think that would be welcomed in the spirit of unity between North and South and healing potential previous divisions. That would be wonderful if we could have that level of unity. I don't think of my constituents alone. I think of both children, parents, taxpayers, and teachers from the North and the South as one. And I'm doing the same thing with this decision. Thank you.
Ms. Dunn?
Yes, I didn't know we were going to have a full-on discussion about full-day kindergarten. And yes, I know everyone on the board is interested in educational excellence, which is why I understand the conversation of full-day kindergarten has been going on for well over 5 years. I don't know what the issues were in holding it up. And it's true, it's only one avenue to improve our educational system. And there are other programs that we have approved over the years and that we are implementing. And I can only say that, to me, it's not a question, should we or should we not have full-day kindergarten based on the research of how it does improve math and reading, gets those kids through those difficult times trying to play catch-up? My question is, why haven't we done it yet? Not why should we do it? Why haven't we taken some action on this already? We are so far behind other schools in this area. They've recognized the importance of starting these, looking at, how the needs are for math and reading at an early level, an early age, also being able to recognize special needs issues early on so they can be tackled. So, if it's not a financial issue, and I don't see it that way, I have not heard anyone in all the meetings we've had, I've not heard anyone say kindergarten is a bad thing. And all the research that administration has showed us is that that's one of the many actions that we can be taking to improve our educational system, instead of leaving that for another day and another discussion, another year. So, that's my final word, is it doesn't mean that we're not doing all these other programs, but that we've waited long enough to get this implemented. And that's why I think it's time to take action and, and not keep talking and reviewing and going through, is this the right time? That's how I feel. Thanks.
Mrs. Khan?
Oh, thank you. I don't disagree with anything that Mr. Roosevelt or Ms. Stone stated. Is kindergarten the only and best educational initiative for academic excellence in Council Rock? The answer to that would be no. It is one way that we can provide the students of Council Rock, our youngest and brightest, the best step forward in their academic career. It would give them a full year a full day of a full year of educational experiences. There are many ways in Council Rock enriches the educational experiences, both academic and extracurricular. Last year, the board approved the $4.8 million in tennis court, basketball court, and auditorium improvements at a school. The 2.6 that would provide full-day kindergarten to all 10 elementary school and kindergarten is clearly a educational investment, one that benefits not only our youngest and brightest all the way through 13 years of full-day education, but also our stakeholders, our community, our property values. And we don't want to be the last. And when we talk about academic excellence, out of 13 school districts in the county of Bucks, there are already 10 that already have full day. There's an 11th on the way. We would be number 12. And with that, thank you.
Suzeki?
I love all the ideas that you were throwing around, Mr. Roosevelt. I want to be very clear that I think we all want educational excellence, and this is the beginning for anybody who's listening at home, wondering why we're not doing something else now. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Mr. Funk, I've said to you before, we're coming for you, get ready. I know there's a lot of changes and other ways that we can improve educational excellence in this district. I have in front of me the DIBELS scores, and I've been kind of looking at them the last week or so. We have so DIBELS is reading scores or literacy scores for the elementary schools, and they break it down at the beginning of the year. They do testing in the middle of the year. We don't have the end of the year scores yet. But for first graders in Council Rock, 52% of the first graders started the year below benchmark. Some were 27% were well below benchmark. So we're not doing what we need to do in kindergarten to get them where, where they need to be when they're starting first grade. And, we can talk about the North versus South thing, but Maureen Welch, at the beginning of the year, 59, this is your district, right, Mr. Roosevelt? So at the beginning of the year, 59% in kindergarten were below benchmark. So then they go halfway through the kindergarten year. The middle of the year testing they did for kindergartners, 75% were below benchmark. So half-day kindergarten isn't helping these kids in your district, Mr. Roosevelt. And then first graders, they're starting the year, Maureen Welch, they're starting the year, 70% are below benchmark at Maureen Welch. And first grade, they're there for the whole day. By the middle of the year, 53% are below benchmark. So they're going from 70% to 53% when they're there for the whole day. When they're there for half a day, they're going from 59% below benchmark to 75% below benchmark. So it is my understanding that this is the first year we've had the DIBELS data, and I'm thrilled that we have it because to me, it illustrates that this is like an urgent need. Like we have to do something about this now. We know that our kids are struggling with literacy. We can't sit back and let this go on. We have to act, and this is not okay. This is not why people move to Council Rock. This is not what we want for our kids. I understand that not everybody has a kindergartner in the district, but if you think about it, over 13 years, every single Council Rock student could be affected by full-day kindergarten. And that's something you can't say for many other topics. Like, Nikki talked about the sports fields or whatever. There are lots of things that cost a lot of money and we spend a lot of money on it, and rightfully so. But this is something that has the potential to help every single one of the kids in Council Rock. So, for that reason, I think I can't think of a better way to use our resources this year. I also would note that, we're going to vote on the budget next month. So if you have another idea about something else you'd rather spend $2 million on, Mr. Rapp's going to have to work a lot between now and next month to put together something that we could vote on in lieu of this. So that's it.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr.
Could I
Roosevelt?
respond after Mr. Hidalgo? I just want to say, Ms. Oseki, you brilliantly articulated and agreed with a lot of the reasons for my comment. And Mrs. Stone, both of you, this question goes out. So are you disagreeing with the idea to consider other initiatives? And are you prepared, all of those first grade kids and current kindergartners that are going to be first grade next year, and next year's kindergartner kids are not going to have the benefit of full-day kindergarten. I, for one, am not prepared to turn my back on them. I would like to figure out a way that we can help these kids at Maureen M. Welsh and every other of the elementary schools, and at the middle school and at the high school. That's why I bring this up. It is not to add more work to Mr. Rapp. It is to consider that we're thinking about all the kids. And you brought up the scores that I didn't intend to bring out to call attention in a negative way for all of the teachers' work over at MMW and the struggles that they face, especially as that one particular school has a lot of kids that have IEPs. Goodnow, I believe, also does. And I think that that plays a role into it. And we're talking about inclusivity of having these children mixed with general education when it's appropriate and the benefits that they receive. So I agree that that's exactly why I'm bringing this question up. Not to add more work, but to see that we can help all the kids and figure out a way that we can do that. And maybe we can do more than one initiative. I don't know. So thank you for enjoying and liking some of my ideas. Thank you.
Mr. Hidalgo.
Thank you. Mr. Secchi, I appreciate you pulling out the statistics, and that's really something I wanted to raise a question. Out of the half-day kindergarten statistics that you showed, do you know did they separate or distinguish between those who had like half-day kindergarten somewhere else? Because I know my kids, when they were in kindergarten, they were in this school district, would go to one of the academies. So they would get kindergarten full day regardless. And so when we talk about these statistics, it's just not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it would really help to get a little bit more detail into, and that might be for Mrs. I don't know who's collecting the data, but maybe it's for Ms. Crawford. But if you would be able to survey the students to know whether or not they are taking, getting another program somewhere else versus just daycare, that would be pretty interesting just to get some more, a deeper look into what's going on. So, because in my experience, the programs that my kids went to, whether it was preschool or the half-day kindergarten here, were very positive. And I don't know what that means, but that should also be looked at. You can't just look at the kids and are they just here for a half day? What do they do in the other half? And then see, does that shed any light on what the issue is? And I agree with Mr. Rose. I agree with everybody. I mean, it's great. We can't lose. And it's not like if we don't do the kindergarten, Mr. Rapp said we already will find places for that money to be spent. That's kind of why I'm like, that's why you pull back the purse strings. But getting back to the kindergarten thing, we have to just look at the other thing I had asked, and Mr. Hickey mentioned it at the last meeting, was we're looking at the cost of full-day kindergarten from the very top cell of the grid, which goes 14 years all the way up to a master's plus 45. And I know Mr. Spring over there could do this, help me out here too, but in 14 short years, that 2.5 million calculates, I'm just going to guess $10 million, and then you have to include the inflation in it. It's like 15 million. With 20, this is what the people call, if you're 120,000 now, in 14 years, you'll be probably 200,000. So we're starting at 40 something. So maybe it's not 10 million, but it is like the first year there, but those people grow. And maybe there's attrition, maybe there's other things, but these are 26 new spots. They're not retiring in 14 years. They're going to work for 30 years, but they're going to receive career rate level in 14. And if you look at our school district, because of the grid being 14 years, we have a top-heavy, so to speak. Maybe this is the wrong word for Mr. Tate. Hopefully top-heavy is not offensive. But, if they say top-heavy in some when you look at retirement plans and stuff like that, what I'm saying is you're never going to get a collective bargaining unit to vote to give more money at the beginning of the scale when the majority of the voting body is at the top of the scale. It's always going to push that way. And this is for them to figure out. But then I also say, since I'm just jumping into the whole union things, the support staff, really, that different union, there's a big discrepancy in the compensation between support staff and professional staff. So this year we're going to do it in opposite order. So I would love to do all these in 1 year and do it all at the same time, and we all need to be able to slice that apple. But if we're doing full-day kindergarten, what do you guys, what's your anticipation of next year's collective bargaining process? We're going to have, take a deep breath, true, because, this all should be kind of looked at together and not just piece. Let's do the kindergarten now, and then we'll tackle that. What I would like to know, first of all, and this is a question when we talk about full-day kindergarten, is the teacher union behind the full-day kindergarten? And if they are is this something that they're going to help us with, I know Tony's over there just smiling away. No, not Tony, I'm looking at ghosts.
Okay, so I have a few more
Yeah.
people that are waiting to make a
Yeah,
comment.
yep, no problem, I'm done.
I have Ms. Stone, and then Mr. Hickey, and then Ms. Ozeki. Ms. Stone, go ahead.
I'm glad we're having a discussion, and we are having ideas, and the administration is always looking for ways to improve education of our students presently. But the issue of starting up a full-day kindergarten requires a lot of planning, and which is why we're trying to fund some of that at this point in time. The other issue that is probably the most important in educational excellence, as Mr. Hidalgo brought it up, is hiring and retaining the best teachers. So I don't know why we're talking about salaries and unions, but that is a crucial part of educational excellence, is getting the best teachers and keeping them on board. And so these are all discussions that we will have going forward. We're going to be talking about kindergarten in separate meetings and education meetings where all these discussions would be appropriate, and our budget meetings, which are appropriate, and the surveys, which are going out regarding kindergarten. I encourage everyone to participate when they see that, get that link, and that we should save a lot of this discussion for all those meetings going forward.
Thank you. Mr. Hickey? Oh, sorry, Ms. Crawford, you have a comment, a response?
I do, Ms. Polly, thank you. I just wanted to go back to the topic about dibbles and data and just remind the community too that as a part of the MTSS framework and process that we are working through at the elementary level, we are analyzing this data 3 times a year. And as Ms. Oseki pointed out, we do not yet have our end of year data, but I will let you know that we are looking closely at where we need to continue to put our resources and helping any areas with support. And that is happening as we speak, especially as we talk about our programming like ELA, Wonders, and Reading Horizons, and all of that's being discussed. So we're looking at this data, we're looking at our support, we're looking at where we're seeing trends and growth, looking at analyzing the DIBELS data. But I do think it's important to point out that if there are areas that need additional support and resources, we're working as a team, an MTSS leadership team, and partnering with the schools to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to address any issues. But I do think that there are definitely schools that we're showing wonderful growth in many areas, and then we're looking at what we can do to continue to support areas that may need some additional resources and such. The teachers, I do want to point out, in all 10 elementary schools, and staff are working very hard, and they're learning a lot this year with our new programming, and I'm proud of that work, and we'll continue to keep the community updated on how that's going. DIBELS data included in that.
Thank you for reminding us that the implementation of the new programs is leading us to educational excellence. So very, very good comment. Thank you so much. Mr. Hickey.
Yeah, I didn't think we were going to have this conversation now, and I'm sure we're not going to have it completely because I'll save most of my comments for another day. However, if anybody's been paying attention to any of the committee meetings, I'm going to say I've probably been the one that have the most concerns about all-day kindergarten. And I will raise those concerns at the meeting. But a couple, I don't want to say fallacies or inconsistencies that I heard tonight that I would just like to try to correct was like we talk about educational excellence and talking about how poorly our kindergartners do, but for every study that you find that shows that all-day kindergarten is a plus, there's another study that shows that by the time these kids reach second and third grade, they've all caught up. My second point is, everybody keeps on saying that 87% of the other school districts have all-day kindergarten. 11 out of 13 school districts in Bucks County have all-day kindergarten. The two districts, in my opinion, that perform the best academically and have that excellence are Council Rock and Central Bucks. Now, I know Central Bucks is doing a whole different plan, but my thing is, just because everybody's doing it, why does that mean that we have to do it? Especially if what we're providing is better than what these other districts, not only in Bucks County, but across the state, are providing. You know, if you look at some of our metrics, we perform better than most of the other districts without full-day kindergarten. We operate pretty fine right now. The third point that I wanted to ask is, I've talked to a lot of parents, and actually a lot of kindergarten parents, and not one of them has ever told me that the reason that they're for all-day kindergarten is for academic excellence. They've given other reasons, but academics was never mentioned in why we need to have full-day kindergarten. And like I said, I'll expand on this a little more later. And as far as the whole conversation goes in general, as a board, I think we're at fault, because when we reorganized and got together, we never discussed among ourselves what we wanted to accomplish. And maybe if we would have gotten together and said, like, look, what do we want to do to provide academic excellence? Maybe we would have went down a different path. Like you said, different things have been mentioned about later start times, block scheduling, but we never talked about it. We just kind of started with all-day kindergarten, and we've just plowed ahead. And, you know, I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. You know, time will tell. I mean, I see where the train's headed on this argument for the most part. But like I said, I think maybe if we would have viewed this differently as a board, maybe we would have done some of these other initiatives first instead of jumping into all-day kindergarten. But like I said, I'll save the rest of my comments for committee and at our meeting next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Zaki, you had something to say?
Yeah, I just have a couple comments in response to my fellow board members. Couple things. Mr. Hidalgo was talking about kids who go to Council Rock schools for half a day and then go to an afternoon program or a morning program or whatever, not daycare, but like a substantive program, of which my child does that, my kindergartner. But the problem is, they're not getting one cohesive curriculum. So like if we were to ask Mrs. Crawford about Wonders or Reading Horizons, they're getting half of that curriculum in the morning or in the afternoon at their Council Rock school. They're not getting the other half at their afternoon program or their whatever. So that's one thing, you know, the ability to execute the entire curriculum in fidelity. I don't think that can really be understated. And then Mrs. Crawford talked about the additional positions, or the administration has asked for some additional positions for things like special needs, literacy support, these kinds of things, and not special needs. Math specialist, yeah. Reading specialists, all sorts of things like that. And so those positions are, it's not like we're doing full-day kindergarten and not doing other things. The administration came to us with a list of positions they would like to add, to which Ms. Polly said, what else would you like to add? You know, we're not saying it doesn't have to be one or the other. And then I certainly think that we can do things like, you know, when the gentleman from Council Rock South said that they had their Keystone testing starting at 7:38, I think we all were like, oh my gosh, 7:38, you know, that's not when kids are at their best, for sure. So something like the later start times, that's not something that's going to cost a lot of money. That's something that we can look at. And I think we'd all be in support of that. And then finally, Mr. Hickey's point, I haven't seen any data or any studies, except for the one that was about 20 years old about things leveling out by third grade. I've seen that study that you referenced, but it is about 20 years old, and we didn't find any more recent. Mr. Murphy presented to us, if you remember, about the research, and he didn't find anything either. But what we do have is current data from our school, so I take that very seriously. That's it.
Thank you so much. So I was just talking with Dr. Sanko. So all of these are on the list. And it's part of the educational excellence that we thrive to have. And I'm very, very happy to hear everybody share their comments and think we all have something in common. We all strive for educational excellence for this district. So we have to figure out what's the best ways to accomplish that. And I know we will talk a lot about full-day kindergarten and other things in the committees and in our next board meeting. So would you like to adjourn, or you would like to share more things?
I move to adjourn. Second.
Second.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Obviously.